So, do you have a toddler that goes to bed but wakes up super early? And in response to that, you put them to bed a little bit later, but they wake up even earlier. And then you move their bedtime, a little earlier, and they're still waking up early. This is something that's actually quite common. You're not alone. Hi, I'm Dr. Funke Afolabi Brown. I'm the founder of Restful Sleep MD. You want to subscribe to my channel because I talk about all things sleep in kids and their moms. So if you are noticing this as an issue, there's several reasons why your child is waking up too early. The first is their sleep schedule. If children have an irregular or inconsistent sleep schedule, what this will cause is disruptions in the times they should be waking up. So it's important to make sure that you have a consistent bedtime routine, a consistent wake up time and sleep time. But specifically, when it comes to that, there are two things that could be happening. If your child is waking up early, it may be that their bedtime is too late. And this is actually the most common cause of early morning wake ups in children. Because even though it seems illogical, putting them to bed later will make them wake up earlier. This is just something that happens, especially for children under 7. The reason why this is going on is that they are ending up being overtired. And when they're overtired, their body is just almost not capable of generating enough sleep. So you want to make sure that your child is going to bed at an appropriate time. So usually anywhere from about 6:30 to 8 p.m., especially for infants and toddlers, is something that would I would typically recommend. So if you're noticing that every time I put my child to bed at 9 p.m. because I want them to sleep in, but they're waking up at 4:30 a.m. or 5 a.m., that's one thing that you definitely want to pay attention to, and just make sure that they go to bed at a more reasonable time. The second part of that is if they have too early a bedtime. So that's on the flip side. So if you have a child who, say, for instance, isn't really sleepy enough, they may end up going to sleep early, but then they wake up early because they're done. So you want to make sure that you have that sweet spot of anywhere from 6:30 to 8 p.m., but you can adjust it to really see where they should be. The second reason why they may be waking up early is that they are overtired. And so now what that means is that there might be this huge gap between the last time they took a nap and bedtime. So they are exhausted. And if you have an exhausted child, you may have heard of the phrase sleep begets sleep. So if you have a child that's too tired, then what will happen is that it's counterintuitive. They're overtired and their body really builds up sleep debt. And it's very hard for them to be able to pay it back. So overtiredness also sends a lot of stress hormones, right? Cortisol, adrenaline. It sends it through your child's system. So they need sleep desperately, but those stress hormones makes it really, really hard for their bodies to not only fall asleep, but also stay asleep. So that's something that you may start to notice. So making sure that they get the appropriate number of naps, making sure that the time between their last nap and bedtime, which is what we call the wake windows, are appropriate, is something you may need to pay attention to. Number three are environmental factors. So if you have excessive light, excessive noise, or an uncomfortable room temperature, that can disrupt your child's sleep and it may make them wake up earlier than their desired time. Now, especially when it's very bright. Now we have the summer, so you may notice your child may be waking up in the summer very early, and it might be because they are exposed to light. So think lights through the window cracks, think light from outside. You want to try to block out as much light as possible. In fact, lights from their humidifier or their air purifier or their clocks, all those things can contribute to them waking up early. Get the room as dark as possible. Now, the next one is if they're going to bed too drowsy, whereby they have already developed associations. So if you're rocking your child and they're starting to feel drowsy and then you put them into bed, they may already have that association where they're used to you doing that. So while people talk about making sure your child goes to bed drowsy but awake, I would say make them put them to bed awake but comfortable, because you want them to be aware that they're falling asleep on their own. If the last time they remember they were being rocked to sleep, they're going to wake up and expect the same thing. And so that's really something you want to pay attention to. You don't want your child to be so drowsy that they actually have learned that they need you to fall asleep. So let that work for you, not against you. And then another reason why our children might be waking up early, too early for us, is if there's a reward system in place. So what do you do when your child wakes up, right? You hear them cry. Do you run right in there and grab them and feed them and change them and, snuggle with them, eat? If they're a toddler, you give them an iPad, you put the TV on. If you're doing that, you're rewarding those awakenings, especially our toddlers, because then they think, oh, every time I wake up, I watch TV, or every time I wake up, I get some extra snuggle. So that you're almost like rewarding them for doing that. So if that's something that you've been doing, if you notice like every time your baby wakes up, as soon as they wake up, you're giving them a bottle and it's too early, it might be that that becomes this reward system. So practicing the pause is something I talk about in the Restful Sleep MD program, where you're not going right in. If you have an older toddler, finding activities or something calming where they can stay in their room. And we have some behavioral strategies we'll walk through that will help curb that behavior so that they know that it's not time to wake up yet. I need to stay in. So these are a few reasons, but very, very common reasons why your little one might be waking up too early, and it is depriving you of sleep because you went to bed at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. and here they are at 5 a.m. So you only got 6 hours of sleep or 7 hours of sleep or whatever the case, not enough sleep because they're waking up. So when we address their sleep issues, then we could get you sleeping the best you can, right? And that's what we do in the Restful Sleep MD program. So I invite you to schedule a call with me. If you have that child that is waking up too early and you guys don't know what to do anymore, you need someone to walk you through how to teach your child to stay asleep and to sleep during their right sleep window, then you got to make that call. Schedule a call with me. Let's talk through what's going on with their sleep. If they have other sleep concerns, either they are sleeping too little, they're waking up frequently at nighttime, or you notice they're having daytime behavioral issues that's related to their sleep, or you just want to figure out how do I optimize sleep for my child, then get on the call. It's www.restfulsleepmd.com. You schedule a call. Let's talk through it. Let's work through it. Let's get our kids sleeping better so us as parents can sleep better. And if this video has been helpful, do me a favor. I would love it if you share it, if you subscribe to my channel, and comment. Let me hear how this is resonating with me. Let me know which trick you took on and you decided to work on, and let me know how that turned out. I would love to know. And if there's other content you would love for me to cover in this series of videos, then shoot me a message in the comments. I'll come right in, or follow me on Instagram and let's talk more. And until next time, I hope you rest well.